Hi, welcome to Falling Down Garage. Today, we're gonna prepare to go buy some goodies for the Grumman. Now, I love these things. They're amazing. The small ones, the original ones, are my favorite. They're a sister model to the Chevrolet. I think it's the 3642 model, the double duty. Sorry for the sunlight there. And I have had a horrible time. You cannot buy the grills for them. You cannot buy the headlight buckets. This is missing an access door that has a piano hinge right here. You open it up to top off the radiator. And the previous owner has something here cut in where you can access the fill cap, you know, the fill for the radiator right there. It's right there. Yeah. So I'll get the correct door for this. And then Mill Supply offers stuff for the square ones, but for the for these round ones, you're out of luck. And I'm also going to be getting the vent door for this here, and the original rims. These are 16s off a Ford Econoline. I'm going to be I gotta speak better English. I'm going to purchase 17-inch rims. They're probably split rims. I have some extras, but I want more because I'm a maniac about that. But I want to be able to put the original wheels and hubcaps on this. And he has a set from a 1960 model. They're similar. They're not the Art Deco kind, but I want both. You know, there's somebody I know has one of these and he's not driving it, so I kind of want to I might want to buy a second one in the future. I love this thing, and it's something I want to have as like an heirloom vehicle, give it to my my kid when I'm gone. But I also want to enjoy it for myself and use it for my business a little bit. It's sort of like a rolling billboard. But this was a mistake purchase, but with those parts I'll have what I need to restore it, and I am absolutely, completely excited about it. Today's Tuesday. On Friday, we're gonna go make the trip. I'm gonna bring you along with me, and we're gonna harvest the stuff out in the woods, and it's gonna be fun. And there's no will it run. The vehicle already runs, but getting parts for a vehicle is a very, very important purchase. You could go on Marketplace and find oddball stuff like Lancia Beta coupes and Triumph Stags and all sorts of like little vehicles that are eccentric and cheap, and if you buy them, you're going to regret it. If you intend to get parts for it, you're not going to be able to. And I'm kind of getting myself out of a trap by doing this purchase on Friday. So you're really better off sticking to stuff that's domestic. You know, if you see a vehicle on Marketplace, look up parts for it, see if you can find stuff. And if you can't, you know what you're getting yourself into. A cheap price will always seduce a person, though. So, all right, we'll be back 3 days from now.
Okay, so the next day I decided I really wanted to take the Dodge to go get the parts because it had more cargo space. I didn't have to worry about anything being dirty. I didn't want to put stuff inside my minivan, and I was afraid of everything fitting without me taking out the back seats. So I wanted to get the truck back on the road, and I could not figure out how to do the wheel bearing. I did it 2 years prior, and it failed. And unbeknownst to me, it wasn't me necessarily. There's a outer bearing race that it was shot, and it was kind of fused into the rotor. I've not been able to get it out. So I hurry up and went online and bought new rotors, thinking that might be the solution. And I bought new bearings, inner outer races, the whole shebang. And I wanted to have a second crack at it. Otherwise, I was going to have to take the bolted-in seats out of my minivan, which would have been aggravating. And I still would have got the interior dirty. So we'll pick it up from there.
You didn't see any of that. So anyways, I was comparing I buy this rotors thinking maybe this rotor is just shot. Maybe that's why the wheel bearings go. It looks like there's a bearing race there. This one has one inside. I buy all new stuff, but it looks like I'm not going to have to use it. So this bearing race is already here. And there it is, but it's completely like worn out. And I couldn't get it out, so I'm just going to use this. I just want to get this thing on the road. I know I'm a wimp. I get it. Make fun of me. It's all good. But I'm teaching myself as I go here. I never had to deal with wheel bearings before this vehicle. Never in my life. I mean, I've had some very bad vehicles, but it never came up. All right. So I'm going to flip this back over. And you deal with the back first, and you put it on the spindle. The spindle stays attached to the truck. Then you deal with the outer bearing race. So this is the inner bearing race. I got to get a bearing, grease it, pop it in, pop the dust cap on, tamp it on. In here, probably a bearing race. This is a dust cap. Okay, so this will get pounded in like this at the end. Doesn't feel like it fits though. That's not good. That could be a problem. Ruh-roh. I do have the used ones here. If I have to, I might cobble from the other. That's a little terrifying. Are they the same? Let's consider all possibilities here. Oh, they look it. Minus a bunch of leaves and dirt. Yeah, they do look it. This race seems like it's okay. I'm just using this as a model for this. I'm over it otherwise. Yeah. The amount of dumb stuff I've done on this project is epic. It really is. It's a testimonial to my stupidity when I get out of my element. So, okay. Here's the bearing. The race. Let me open this up. And it's set 11. Yeah, and then set 16 is the outer. The little buddy. Yeah. This is the dust cap on this. I might need that dust cap, so nothing gets thrown out until this thing's been road tested, and actually until I drive it a couple 100 miles, then I'll start throwing stuff in the scrap pile. All right. So, it fits. Just needs to be greased. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Does this go in with the mix though? No. I think this and this are the same thing. And this is already set. Okay. So I feel like that's one thing I do genuinely understand now. Sorry for the compressor noise. All right, so I need to pack this with some high temperature grease. You work it in to the needle roller bearings, not needle bearings. And I'm probably going to be borrowing that dust cap. And the flanges stick out on the dust cap, so pop that in there. Feels like it's a little light, but such is life. Let me see this dust cap. I don't want to use this, but if I have to, I'm not going to be precious about it. Is this thing the same as the new one? That is the... Oh my... Hate having stuff fall. Are these the same, or are these dissimilar? They are not the same, are they? Nope. All right. And great, now I can't return this because I got it dirty. So chalk one up for me for being cautious. This fits in, and I go around and tamp it, or clean this up a little bit. So that upsets me. Let me give it a little tap, tap, tap. Without tearing up the boot. All right, so that's in there. Okay, Now let's flip this over so I can eyeball it before it's on the truck and I start panicking. All right, here's the set 16. All right. So I shouldn't need this because this is already sitting in there like so. So this is gonna go in there and then I can see everything fitting together finally. I think I'm actually gonna be able to drive my truck tomorrow. How about that? That is really, really cool just to think about it. Okay, I'm gonna bogart this lid here as a dish. I'm gonna grease this thing up. Wow, maybe there's hope for me yet. I know my stuff with houses. With vehicles, I get knocked down to being a first grader. I actually teach people how to do what I do in the insurance industry, but outside of that, I get exposed. So what else do I need? I need the dust cap. I really hate using this thing as a dish, especially since I paid good money for these. Leave these buried. I need this. Let me clean this nut off. Someday I want to be able to work inside my garage. That's the goal. Not that this truck would actually fit in there, but then this thing's a little bit wallered and the keyway's kind of chewed up, but it's gonna have to work for today. All right, so get the get the Freudian slip, get the rotor on, get the wheel bearing on, get it torqued down, and then I'll worry about the, all right. So did I make a mistake or did I make a mistake? That's the question. I think that means I made a mistake. All right, so I got this. I got this. I'm gonna leave this over here. I'm gonna clean my hands. I'm gonna bring my grease. I'm gonna keep these separate for the calipers. Oh geez, come on. Can't be losing this stuff. Of course I don't have my knee pads on. Or do I have cardboard at least. All right, let's get over there and try to make a go of this. I need a cotter pen. And I need my needle nose. All right, let me hit. 3087 is the correct part. Yeah. I am so excited all of a sudden. I feel like I might understand this. And I'm actually looking forward to trying to do this. All right, I forgot the castle nut before, so I need to get the cotter pin and the rotor, and I should be ready to start putting this back together, and we'll see. Famous last words. So I have the inner bearing and the dust cap on. I know you know that, I'm just reminding myself. All right, so get this thing on. That actually feels decent so far. Okay. All right. Wheel bearing. Outer wheel bearing. Nice. That actually felt correct. Okay. Washer nut, castle nut, cotter pin, dust cap, I think. All right, the tooth is broken off on this thing, so I'll have to get new ones for that, but this should suffice for now. If I'm wrong, please tell me in the comments. You're not going to offend me. If you're like, that tooth allows it, prevents it from untorquing or whatever, because you know, just tell me. You know, I'm grateful. I have very thick skin. I feel like that thing could use a chasing with a tap and die or whatever. Die. Yeah, there we go. Now you crank it down until it hits a certain point, and then you back it off a quarter turn, I think is the thing everyone says. Yeah, using. All right. Now what I can't remember is, I think this goes on, then the castle nut goes on. I mean, the castle nut goes on, then the cotter pin. Yes, that's what those slots are for the cotter pin. And this prevents the torque of the nut from getting taken away by the spin, which is going this cotter pin. All right. And of course I have it twisted almost 90 degrees away from the way I want it to be. So we'll turn it. Oh, or will we? This is terrifying because I'm starting to, having hope can be dangerous. Oh my God, having coordination can be dangerous. There we go. Oh my goodness. I'm in danger of doing this right. For some reason when I was a kid, I was really good with cotter pins. And after that, not so much. Maybe it has the correlation to do with being able to see. All right, now brake pads and the clips. Oh my. I'm like, now I'm afraid of success because I've just resigned myself to failure. These pads are goofy. Let's see what this new set's looking like. Well, we're gonna keep one in the pack and open one up. What am I looking for? There's something to break this open. There we go. I guess the rotor will prevent me from screwing this up. I mean, not the rotor, the caliper. All right, that's the inner pad by virtue of whatever just happened there. And this is the outer, because it's asymmetrical. And do I have to pay the piston in more because these are full, a lot of meat on them probably. Yeah, let's figure that out. That's got to be what I'm fighting with here. I need the C-clip to pay that in a little bit more. I'm going to go rogue here and not wear the surgical style gloves. Take this pad off. See if I can get this piston to recess a little bit more. Let me just feel a little nervous about this. I don't like what I'm doing here, but I probably should have a little piece of something in there with wood. Right. No drips from above. I think that's enough. I needed just a little bit of compression there. I think. All right, where's my pad? Are you kidding me? Did I manage to lose these things again? Now, which one does it go on, for crying out loud? Oh dear. Oh, Scott. All right, it goes on this one. I'm starting to think I'm gonna have to use the old pads. I saw a YouTube video recently where a guy was trying to use new pads and they were too thick. I'm starting to think that's what I'm running into here. All right, let me fix this. Feels really stupid what I'm doing, but they have plenty of meat on them. I'm not jeopardizing anybody's safety. I'll jump off this other bridge when I get to it. Well, another time is a better way to have technically gotten to it already. I'm at the bridge and choosing not to cross.
I was afraid of ruining the pistons here and preventing my ability to take the Dodge on the trip, if you're wondering. That's the whole reason why I put the old pads back on.
I'll need to pump these up, but I think we're gonna be able to get away with this stupidity. These require a 1/2 inch, these clips. Washer, clip. Let me get the other one on. I gave it a little bit of a turn just to get it started. The other one didn't have a washer in the first place, so such is life. I'm sure I'm doing this wrong. Oh, there's the washer. And this stupid thing's not on there either. Great. You know what? I'm sure it's a wear indicator. I drive this thing 2,000 miles a year. Yeah, dust cap, I hear you. Put the wheel back on. Alright. It's like watching grass grow, watching me work. Where's the, okay, it's almost straight up and down. my dad. He would not be very happy with me for that. Alright. Other side, here we come. So what I want to do here is jack up this side. I promise I'm going to change it no matter what, but if this thing spins and is quiet and happy, because of all the stuff I have to do to get ready for tomorrow, I'm going to kick the can on this and do it after my trip. It's only about 300 miles. It's not that far. It might not even be that far, actually. But I got to be ready for tomorrow. I've had this, I've put like 4,000 miles on this already.
I was getting really tired here, and I needed to get everything loaded up, and I didn't even finish my list of what I wanted to bring with me, and it turned out to be important.
It's fine, listen to it. Hold on. Well, you would like to listen to it. It's no play whatsoever. It's good. It's good. I'm gonna road test this thing. All right, today is the day. We're driving through Pennington, New Jersey, I believe. I'll be on this road for a while. I'm heading up to Northwest New Jersey to harvest all those Grumman parts. I managed to get this Dodge back on the road. I thought I was gonna have to take my Transit Connect, which has an interior to it. It's the passenger model, so I was terrified of having a bunch of nasty tire water leak inside the vehicle, or you know, mud, and I really wanted to, frankly, I think this is the vehicle I should be doing it in. So New Jersey gets a bad rap. This around Princeton and heading north, you'll see a lot of pretty stuff. Look at that old house there. Someone's recognizing that it deserves to be saved, that massive chimney.
In a quarter mile,
but
left 2 lanes.
So I don't know how the gentleman I'm buying stuff is gonna feel about me filming, but he may not care, but I have a feeling he probably will. But I'll show what I'm doing at least. If he doesn't care, I'll let him be in there. I'll be glad. Nice guy, looking forward to meeting him. So anyways, we'll be back. So I'm on New Jersey, not New Jersey, US Route 46. Just drove through some mountains. It's running along some sort of river. I saw a sign for Hackettstown. I'm seeing all sorts of places. That might be my spot on the way home to get a bite to eat. I saw a bunch of Labrador puppies at a breeder before playing. Let me speak English. The old 2-digit US highways, they're a treat. So pretty. Not this per se, but just lots of old stuff. I don't know what that is. Is that a cogen plant? Old trestle. I should have been filming earlier. You missed out on some stuff. I had a bunch of work calls come in. When I was a kid, there'd just be a falling rock sign in places like this, and you'd see rocks. This was a fantasy back in the 70s. I'm so glad I got this truck back on the road. I didn't drive it for 2 weeks, except for like locally. I kept having trouble with those wheel bearings, only to find out it was the race. Now I have to see if I can get the old race out, or if it's somehow fused in there, but I wimped out and put the new rotor on just to be able to drive this today. Something interesting was the pads were too thick for me to get the rotors back, to get the caliper back on, and I had to put the old pads back on. I have to find out what the deal with it is. I didn't want to ruin my caliper though, so I got scared. Yeah, so I'll play around with that rotor over the weekend to see if I can chisel out what the race. I-80 to get to New York City. I was just there last two weekends ago. I used to go up there all the time. It's supposed to have glass balls on the roof that the balls break when you get a lightning strike, so you know to go check the wires for your grounding rods, for your lightning rods. Pretty cool. Nice little vineyard here. Guy's tending to his vineyard. Pretty cool. Blairstown, 7 miles. I think that's where I'm heading to ultimately. I saw a sign for something in New York, not New York City, 45 miles. Look at these old stoneworks. Hold on. Ooh, Stone Arch Bridge up above that's concrete. I've never had a vehicle before that was quieter with the window down than it is with the window up. But this manages to do that. Tunnel Field, aptly named for the two tunnels. This must have been a hub of activity at one time. Two competing railroads is my guess. 1909, and there's probably a rail line up above. Hackettstown. I don't think I know Hackettstown. Pay attention. Look at this old trestle here. One lane bridge. I'm sure that thing has seen some stuff. Denside Ford. This is a cute little hamlet here. Animal Mansion Veterinary Hospital. That was an Eastern Orthodox Catholic church at one time with those minuets or whatever they're called. I think that's actually Arabic architecture originally. Old cemetery. Victorian era gravestones. Wow. All right, I'm gonna pay attention here. This is so pretty up here. Look at all these rock walls.
Okay, so what you see here is a montage of what I was looking for on my truck versus what the 1960 that I was taking parts from had. So I needed the front grille. There was a headlight bucket. He had the front bumper. he also had this side vent for the driver's side. And here was the donor vehicle before we started parting it out. So if you look at it, it had a different configuration for the doors. The sides were mostly the same, except for I had sort of a gasket around my passenger side fuel filler door. He had an actual door, access door for it. He had a rack inside, which I considered buying, but frankly, at the end, I was gassed, and I didn't even do all the work. He had a seat that I probably could have used, but I already had one, and I just felt like it. I was exhausted, and I still had a long ride home without a co-pilot, so... But we got the Grille headlight bucket. I ended up with turn signals, which was an added bonus. The side door, the bumper, and a set of 4 split rims. A year and a half ago, I looked at this other Grumman. It was actually a lot closer to me, but the guy was insistent that I take the vehicle. I tried offering him the same price, almost, maybe a little bit less, but I didn't want the vehicle, and he just would not bite on it. And he had a backup grille. He had the headlight buckets. He had the front bumper. He didn't have the side vent. If I had it to do over again, I probably would have taken it, but, you know, in his Grille, looking at the pics, it was in better shape than the one I got, but I did get this for less money, and I kind of got it on my terms. My driveway's pretty packed, but this is the stuff you deal with when you're trying to really legitimately restore an oddball vehicle. All right, so I did a walk around of the vehicle. You can see how we cut out the headlight bucket, took off the front center section, the front bumper. We put those Silverado rims from my Grumman with the Harley Davidson color scheme. I'm just showing you and my girlfriend what it looked like. The rest of it looked like. I think those doors were actually flipped upside down for some reason. It could have been saved, but between the, you know, I couldn't take it, and it would have been a massive tow bill, and I had nowhere to put it. So it was for the best. They weren't gonna restore the vehicle. Really nice people. Anyways, so I promised him that I would get this thing back on the road and make sure that it wasn't for naught. So that's my pledge.
So, if you look behind me, that mountain is the Appalachian Trail. So all of those things that were going to prevent me from ever getting my Grumman done are sitting in the back there, or they're on the Grumman. So I am beyond happy right now. If you ever have to do that to a Grumman, the cutting wheel on an angle grinder is the way to go. The other methods are not as effective. Drilling through the rivets, that was kind of fighting us, but the angle grinder got right through everything. Chisel. I wasn't able to get the bumper brackets, but I got the bumper, so I'm whooped. He did more of the work than I did, God bless him. I guess he was bored or thought I couldn't do it, but we had a good time together. We worked on it for about 2.5 hours, and I'm on my way home. And that's what it's all about when you buy a vehicle. You got to chase down parts, and it's hard. So you've got to comb all the internet sites and find what you need. So now the cloud for my silver lining is I'm going to get home on time to actually have to work today. So there's that. Yeah, this was fun. I'm completely gassed. I made it back home, got my stash there. I'll have to unload. I think we're gonna do some gardening tomorrow potentially, but it took me 3 years to find this stuff, and the bumper, excuse me, that's gonna need some tappy tap to it. I'll probably cut those brush guards off. They're a little goofy, although I will think about it before I do. I think what I want to do is actually get this stuff on the truck as quickly as I can, because I think it's safer on the van than it is laying around. So I'm going to have to order brackets for the bumper once I verify it's actually the right bumper for it. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. And I guess after that, I will jump onto the Corvair to, I'm going to get it on the road. The van's, the Grumman there is going to need more than, you know, I got to do all the brakes. There's the throttle connection. I want to flush out the block. Got to check the clutch. The shift linkage is like atrocious. Everything feels like it's in the same slot. There's no gap between the shifter and the steering wheel. Something's out of alignment there, but probably from when it had front end damage. Maybe I could slide the linkage down the column and that'll fix it. So who knows? But anyways, progress is progress. And
that was the end of Friday. We're going to pick it up on Sunday and wrap up the video. Hang on.
All right, so next on my hit list for today, we're in the Dodge after a very successful parts hunt the other day. I've got to be able to open this door, so I got to get this off, this off, this off. Then there's some trick to getting this door handle off, apparently. Right here where my finger is. It's I think a 9/16 he said, or 7/16. Might be metric in reality. Who knows? All right, let's see what we're gonna grab onto here. His door was a higher grade one than mine, so there was some. Yeah, his door was he had a nicer vehicle. This is like a bone stock. The only thing it has is a V8 automatic, but it's otherwise got no options. Where his was, I think, a nicer model. Feels like I'm grabbing meat, so it must be just a basic Phillips. Yes, indeedy. Doesn't want to come out. This is not ideal, to put it politely. Oh, God. There we go. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. If you can handle it. Too big? Just right. Awesome. Okay, we've got our answer. Oh, wrong way. Alrighty. So I'll put this in that thing so I don't lose it. So that thing's pretty much out. It's just getting it plucked away all the way around. Now if this thing would tilt, which it doesn't, I could... Oh, son of a gun! See, that's what negativity gets you. Humbled. Gladly humbled. Alright. I'll take it. When I'm wrong, it usually means something good happened. Some morose. Okay, that even fits on perfectly. Awesome. And go through the plastic, which will require me doing something different in the future. But are those staples? How would you? What are you stapling into here? Oh my gosh! Apparently, this is the world's greatest plastic. All right, so this is the lock mechanism. I don't know if you can see it on camera. I can see that going up and down. That's not disconnected. It's this rod here that I'm shaking. It's not grabbing onto what it's supposed to be grabbing onto. All right, look down this slot. Now, see this rod? This needs to drop into a catch.
Can you hold the window down?
Well, I can't. Well, all right, let me try.
Because the glare is,
It's going to obstruct your view.
all right.
I'll do it.
The dirt, hold on, let me see. Go ahead, try to point it out again.
All right. This thing needs to drop into a certain right angle, and then you pull on the lever and the door wants to open. It's out of its slot. It's not a hinge issue. That guy was completely off his rocker.
Right, but I'm saying, can you see anything moving?
No.
All right.
Can you see this where my finger is down? Look down in this, look here. I'm trying to avoid just cutting this thing in pieces.
Again. Show me again. I'm not seeing anything.
All right, now I'll try winding the window down for you.
Oh, I see the thing now.
Here's the problem, I can't wiggle it now.
You can't.
No, because the window's gonna be in the way, I think. Or no, maybe not. No, I'm wrong. Look at that. But you gotta be careful.
So this weather stripping is keeping us from seeing anything.
Well, it's still in there.
Yeah. Whatever this black thing is.
Hold on.
What is this?
Oh shoot, it's still in there. Awesome. Sort of. All right, off camera, Mom got it to somehow connect because she's a very patient person, apparently, because she lives with me.
Just be careful, there's a screw in here.
All right,
Right here.
all right, that's fine.
And I have some clips that fell out.
Good. Yeah, we'll get the round one. That one.
Do what? Why are you handing it to me?
In case you want to pull it out, we'll just no. You got your button, you got it. Terry Reed. Professor Mom's here.
So, see this piece right here?
Yes.
This, I believe, let me double check. No, it was this one. This one popped out of that little mechanism right there.
Okay.
So basically right here, if I push on this, it'll pop back out again, but it popped right in there.
I don't know if what I did was right, but this thing had nothing to grab onto. So I put 2 grommets in the holes to kind of slow it down. And then from the back side, I threw 2 more on the back just to ensure it doesn't fly off. Now I just have to get a light socket for the bulb, and I could get that thing working again. I don't think I have them on hand, or I don't know what I did with them. I thought I bought some, but oh, they'll turn up. And then I have to learn about vehicular electrical DC. I can wire my house, but not that. Nope. All right, so Mom Cooks and Garden, she epoxied this together. We've been letting it dwell, cure, whatever you want to call it, for probably 90 minutes now. It's embarrassing. Every time I start doing a project anymore on these cars, I get help. I'm grateful for it, but I hate that I need it. But I don't have that kind of aptitude, I guess. So her epoxy thing, it was one of those name brand ones, something 2000 or whatever, but I think it'll probably work. In the meantime, I just went through and did some maintenance. I popped a signal marker lens on the other side. Big whoop. All right, since Mom of Mom Cooks and Gardens fixed this, I am at gunpoint not opening this because that'll determine whether her repair worked or not. But I put the window handle back on without the cover, and I did put the handle back on here just so that I can use the door. I have some arm rest pads. They're not OEM, so they don't quite look the same, but I want to put them on the door so that's more comfortable in here. And I'm never going to restore the headliner because I like it better without it. It's admittedly louder without it, but the real problem is the lack of the weather stripping. If I get that all replaced, it should really quiet it down. Maybe someday I'll put something up there, but I kind of like the look. So I like just seeing the body color. Like, it reminds me of the older trucks because they didn't have all this plastic or door cards. They were a lot less, they were more utilitarian. I mean, this has the rubber mats for the floors and such, but I like it that way better. Oh boy, I gotta get a thing for that. I'll just get a help. I think that's the brand, Dorman. They make like replacements. I don't need OEM. This isn't that kind of vehicle. I don't want to radically alter it, but I just want it to be on the road and getting used and getting loved. This truck is very happy being on the road. It kind of treats me well, even though I don't necessarily, I use it as a real truck. I beat on it a little bit because of that, but it runs like a top, and you know, the oil looks great. Oil pressure doesn't seem to be so good. I was trying to find the location of the sensor where it comes in. I want to put a tap on it and put a second meter on it to see if whether it's really you know, running. I think it probably is legitimately low on oil pressure, which means it's probably the bottom end. I don't think it's the oil pump, but when you're running it, I drove I think 300 miles yesterday, something like that, or the day before, and it, you know, knock on wood, nothing, I didn't hear anything I didn't want to hear. So I'm going to show you something in a minute. So I'm running out of time here today. I got to switch tasks, but so I got 3 of these poverty caps. They're obviously, you know, they're past their expiration date, but I wanted these rims that came with the truck, knowing full well that they're probably bad, and one of them definitely is. The rest of them, they're all split rims, so I'm gonna be my tire guy. But these are important for the look. I might drill these clips off and put them on different rims, but these poverty caps will not work without these clips. So, and that's the look I want ultimately, you know, minus the you know, 60-70 years of rust, but that's what I'm shooting for. So that's why I got these, and wanted Mom to see them. She's busy up in the garden, so she could just watch. These are 17s. When my truck was built, my truck was 8 years older than this. Mine had 17.5s, which 17s is good because you can still buy tires in that size. The sizes you don't want are 17.5 and 16.5, because then you're limited to you know, high-end reproduction Coker tires, and they're cool. They cost money though. So these 17s were intriguing to me because of that. I also wanted to mark them so I don't mix them up with my Ford rims. So for that bad boy. All right, the next thing I'm going to show you is I was able to get this, and they don't sell these anymore. Mill Supply sells stuff that's close, but it's not the same. So I'm gonna have to run this through a sandblaster and clean it up. I soaked it, but I'm probably gonna have to CLR it or whatever. We have to soak it in some acid. But this is the outer part. He cut the hole wrong. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, he cut the hole wrong. He got, or did he? No, he got it right. He got it right. The so this thing, you kind of install it on site, so to speak. It meets, so the inside guts installed from the inside, then the outside. From the outside you rivet it, and then, you know, it just pops open so you get some air on your nether regions while you're driving, which is important on a hot day without air conditioning, assuming I'm going to deliver stuff and not delivering anything. All right, so that was one of the other things I got. And there's more. All right, I'm gonna show Mom what I scored on Friday with the help of the nice gentleman who sold me everything. First of all, Excalibur, the biggest piece of unobtainium there is on this vehicle, the Grille. It's beat up, it needs to be worked. He was getting multiple calls for this thing, so I'm not the only one who was looking for it. To all of you Grumman owners out there, I will, to the best of my ability, document this thing. There's a guy that I have who's supposedly going to make some headlight buckets for me. If he's successful, I'll have him measure all this stuff before I ever go to install it. So hopefully he can maybe replicate these. This profile's, I think, the hardest part, most obviously. A big revelation to me, this thing's obviously had an impact to it, was that it doesn't mount on brackets inside here. It was actually just mounted to the outside. So it was an unremarkable installation. Just 4 bolts, 2 and, or 8 rather, 2, 4, 6 and 8. And that's it. It just mounted to the outside. I was like very underwhelmed by it. But this is from the Chevrolet Double Duty and the, of course, the Grumman Olson Kurbside. So I know this looks wonky, but this is how it's supposed to look. And the people that have these on their Grummans don't realize how absolutely lucky they are. So I was able to get this. And unbeknownst to me, there's a piece here that goes, I have to look at my pics. You can see the grind marks. We use the angle grinder to cut off the rivets. It goes down around the bumper bracket, either above or below. Forgive me for not being able to remember. It was a long day, and I drove 5 hours that day, round trip. There's an access door for these things. So it has, I thought it was a piano hinge naively. It's more involved than that. And so it's spring-loaded. And I'm thinking I wanted the door, and the guy's like, why don't you just take the whole thing off? And I'm like, oh yeah, that would make sense. So he was a real pleasure to be with that day, to just like he did a lot of the work, and he kind of did some babysitting. So this is ultimately going to go on here like so.
And you can see here, that's where it went up under here.
Correct. And then,
so this was fabricated just to replace the missing door.
Exactly. And these don't have the correct rivets. The correct rivets are those big ones that you'll see. These are more of what you should have on this vehicle. So this was, he reskinned this, the previous owner. And while I used to kind of think I didn't like it, I probably couldn't have done it. So I'm grateful to him nonetheless. But the idea, there's an extension. Can you shine through the window here? See the radiator cap? It's not supposed to. Doing a little bit of post-production. My girlfriend didn't really show the radiator cap there when we were talking about the cover on the Grumman. So this glass is all delaminated. I have replacements for this. It's made out of plexiglass, and somebody on eBay sells it for 100 a piece. This is flat glass, flat glass, flat glass. I don't know how much all this stuff is going to cost me to replace it, but yeah, not to go, sounds like I have a little ADD here, but yeah. So anyways, that door, this the radiator, I'm shaking at the cap. It's supposed to be accessible right about here. That's kind of how it's supposed to go with that door. Trying to think. Yeah, so anyways, and then I'm sorry I didn't film when I was harvesting the Grumman parts, but my YouTube channel doesn't have enough subscribers for me to be like, say, hey, I'm somebody, and I didn't want to invade their privacy. They had a nice little spread where they were. So all right, we'll splice this in. Be that way. That was kind of sorry for all the stuff that's in there, but that was done kind of as a means to an end. You had to be able to top off the fluid for the radiator. This radiator actually holds fluid somehow, by the grace of God. But you're supposed to be able to open this to reach in and do that. And then, it didn't come with the emblem, but I have a repop for it. And these are all little details to this, that when you see one that's unmolested, it's
What's it made out of?
I don't know what the heck I think that might be bronze or fake bronze.
Actually, almost feels like
It's plastic.
3D printed.
I think it's 3D printed.
Yeah.
And you know, honestly, I'm fine with it. I know it's kind of cheesy, but someday I'll find a real one. But it's the right size, and that's what it's supposed to look like. Minus it's supposed to be nickel plated. But yeah, so I have oh, and I also got a headlight bucket too, which I'll show you in a minute. You want to hit 3 of the 4. This is the wrong this is for the Viking era, which ran 55 through 59 maybe. This was off a 60, but I think they might have carried the hubcaps over a couple more years. And I was showing so these rims are probably never going to get used. They're 17s, which I can't get real tiresome, but they're no rims, split rims. But these, at the minimum, I'll harvest these clips off and put them on different rims.
This one's got one. It's wearing one.
Well, I put it on camera. So here's, you need them for these poverty caps. Without them, they won't hold on. I might drill those things off and put them on the 16-inch Ford Econoline rims I have, if I get desperate, or the tire shops. You know, it's a liability issue. I also got that big front bumper over there, which I have it laying the way I have it, just to gotta get it out of the way. These brush guards were to protect those headlight buckets, and you know, after trying to find headlight buckets, I kind of understand, but I'll probably cut these off. This needs to be knocked down. This needs to be bumped up along with this. Along this here needs to be trued out. I may never use this, but I wanted to have it, so if I got a reproduction, I knew what size it needed to be, because if they say it's like 6 inches smaller, then I know it's not going to fit. So I needed to have one. It might sound like I was a desperate person, because I was a desperate person. So this purchase to me was, the knowledge behind it was more important than what I was actually getting. So and I have one more thing to show. I'm gonna hit pause. If you have a Grumman without these, you know what I have in my hand: a headlight bucket. They're the quintessential. These in the Grille are the whole thing about the look. You can maybe get by without the access store, but you gotta have these. And what we did was we cut it out. It wasn't my decision, it was his, God bless him, because these rivets were not drilling very well. I'm gonna work on these, but I might not. I might be afraid to and let the other guy do it. These are painted white. We thought that might have been fiberglass, but from the back, they're plainly not. And you have my word, even if he scoffs at the Grille and all the other things, you think it's plastic? Mm-hmm. It's not aluminum. Regardless, I want to see if I'm paying him in theory, unless he gives me my money back and says he can't do it, to make these out of aluminum. But if he does that, I want him to join the website. If he's willing to do it again, can do it reasonably efficiently, to provide it for other people that are in the position I've been in, so that they can restore their Grummans. Because these things, you know, a lot of people try to turn them into food trucks, but I think they deserve to be on the road regardless of what you do with them. They're not yard art. They're vehicles they're made out of aluminum, with aluminum bodies, and you take care of the frame. Even if you do a chassis swap that I'm not a fan of.
Can you sand them off?
Oh yeah, we'll use the grinder.
Yeah.
And then you just punch them through. With the aluminum bodies, they can theoretically last forever. If you don't have to take care of them to the same degree of a regular vehicle. But a lot of people successfully chassis swap them. It's not my thing, but it is a means to an end. If it keeps it on the road, it's the lesser of evils. Because this thing is a straight axle, 3 on the tree, an engine with very little power, an updraft carburetor, it's archaic. It's beyond archaic. Harry Truman was in office. The guy that said bomb Hiroshima, he was in office when it was built. It's old. So I can understand wanting to have more power so you can drive in modern traffic situations. So anyways, this is the last of my acquisitions from Friday. It's Sunday today, and I wanted to show Mom of Mom Cooks and Gardens what I got. And
Free spider eggs.
free spider eggs.
Nice.
Yeah, when we sell merch, you know, if we ever do that, you can, if you're lucky, you can get the spider eggs. All right, so Mom was busting her butt earlier to repair this. So cool. Thanks, Mom.
What we did was we reconnected down in here. There's this little mechanism right there. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to show you. Right here. There we go, right there. And the plastic clip that holds it in busted. So it plugs in, but there's nothing on the back side to keep it from popping back out. And just the right movement would probably pop it out. So we can't replace the clip right now, so we just put a drop of E2000 in it.
What Mom said.
Quick fix.
I couldn't figure it out on it. I'm gonna tape this up. Just I don't want to, until I find this replacement armrest that I bought, I don't want to put it back together. So thank you for your help, and for you people watching the biggest ADD video I've ever made, where it's Dodge and Grumman, Dodge and Grumman, Dodge and Grumman. I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe for more.